the waitress wasn't supposed to touch him, not him. Not Henry Jones, the man who hadn't let a woman get close to him in 6 years. Yet somehow she was already sitting on his lap. And the way his fingers tightened around the edge of the table. Everyone in the restaurant knew something had just gone very, very wrong. Before we go further, where are you watching from right now? Drop your location in the comments. And trust me, you want to stay till the end of this story, because what happens between Henry and this waitress, it doesn't end the way you think. Let's get back to the story. Henry Jones didn't come to restaurants for experiences. He came for silence, same table, same time, same order. Every single day. Corner booth, back facing the wall, full view of the entrance. A man who had built a billion-dollar empire didn't leave things to chance, not even dinner. People knew him, they just didn't approach him. Not because he was rude, but because he felt untouchable. Controlled, precise, distant. Like a man who had already seen how things fall apart, and decided never to let anything matter again. 6 years ago, his fiancée walked out, no explanation, no closure. Just gone, and ever since then, Henry Jones had made one rule. Nothing emotional gets close enough to break me again. That's why Eva noticed him, not because he was rich, but because he was still in a place full of noise, laughter, movement. He didn't belong, and she had been watching him for weeks. Not in a creepy way, but in a curious way. Because no matter how many times she served him, he never really looked at her. Until one night, he did. It was small, barely noticeable. But when Eva placed his usual order in front of him, his eyes flickered up for half a second longer than usual. And for some reason she smiled. Not the polite waitress smile, a real one. Warm, unfiltered, the kind of smile that reaches your eyes. Henry noticed, he didn't react. But something shifted. That should have been the end of it, it wasn't. 3 nights later, the restaurant was louder than usual. Music playing, a small celebration in the center area. People laughing, clapping, and then someone shouted, "Yo, Eva. Show us what you got." She rolled her eyes. "No, I'm working. Just 10 seconds. Come on." The pressure built fast. And Eva. She was the kind of person who didn't like killing a moment. So she sighed, laughed, and gave in. Fine. 10 seconds. Now here's the thing, Eva didn't dance for attention. She danced because it was part of her, natural and effortless. Like breathing. And when the music shifted slightly, something with rhythm, something alive, she moved, not wild, not inappropriate, just confident. Smooth, controlled, real. The kind of movement that doesn't ask for attention, but takes it anyway. And then, someone made a mistake. Go give the quiet guy a show. Laughter, a joke, a push from behind. And before she could overthink it, Eva turned and walked straight toward Henry's table. Now the entire room felt it, that shift, that tension. Because everyone knew, you don't mess with that man. Henry saw her coming, and for the first time in 6 years, he didn't know what to do. She stopped right in front of him. Close enough for him to notice details he had ignored for weeks. Her eyes, her confidence, the way she didn't hesitate. Relax, she said softly. It's just 10 seconds. And then, she sat on his lap. The restaurant went silent, not loud silence, the dangerous kind. The kind where people don't breathe. Henry didn't move, didn't speak, didn't stop her. But his body betrayed him, his jaw tightened, his fingers curled slowly against the table. His breath changed. Because something had just happened, something he didn't prepare for. Something he couldn't control. Eva moved lightly, nothing excessive, nothing inappropriate. Just enough to finish what she started. Then she stood up like nothing happened. Smiled, and walked away. The room exploded, laughter, shock, whispering. But Henry. He stayed seated, completely still. Eyes locked on the space she had just left. 10 seconds, that's all it was. So why couldn't he get up? 5 minutes later, he stood, dropped cash on the table, and walked out. No expression, no reaction, just control like always. But the moment he got into his car, everything cracked. Her smile, the way she said, "Relax." The way she didn't treat him like everyone else did. And for the first time in 6 years, Henry Jones couldn't focus. He drove home, sat in silence, tried to work, tried to think. Tried to go back to being the man who didn't feel anything. But something had already started. And 3 nights later, he would break his own rule. He went back. Henry Jones wasn't supposed to go back, that was the rule. One moment of weakness. Fine, you ignore it, you bury it, you move on. That's how he survived 6 years. But 3 nights later, he was already walking into the same restaurant again. Same time, same table, and same control. Except this time, he wasn't here for the food. He noticed it immediately, she wasn't there. The chair felt different, the air felt off. And for the first time in years, Henry Jones experienced something he absolutely hated. Anticipation. "Your usual, sir." A different waitress, he nodded. Didn't ask, didn't react, but his eyes. They scanned the room once. Twice, 3 times, nothing. 5 minutes passed, then 10. And just when he convinced himself it didn't matter, she appeared. Eva. Hair tied back this time, simpler outfit, less noise around her. But somehow, she stood out even more. She saw him, paused for half a second, not shocked. Not nervous, just aware. And then she walked over. "Didn't think you'd come back," she said. No apology, no awkwardness, just direct. Henry looked at her, really looked this time. "You didn't think that was a good idea?" There it was, the tension. Eva tilted her head slightly. "I think it was a moment." She leaned a little closer. "And moments don't usually scare men like you." Silence. Henry could have ended it there, could have shut it down. Could have returned to being the man who doesn't entertain anything unnecessary. But instead, he said something he didn't plan. "Sit." That changed everything. Eva blinked once, then smiled slightly, and sat across from him, not on his lap. Not playful, just present. "Relax," she said again, softly. The same word, the same tone, and somehow, it hit deeper this time. "What's your name?" Henry asked. "Eva." "Eva," he repeated slowly, like testing it. "Do you always do that?" She smirked. "Only when the room dares me to." Pause. "And when someone looks like they need it." That line landed. Henry leaned back slightly, eyes still on her. "And I looked like I needed that." Eva didn't hesitate. "You looked like a man who forgot how to feel anything." Silence again, but this time it was heavier, because she was right. And Henry hated that. "You don't know me," he said. "No," she agreed. "But I've seen you." She tapped the table lightly. Same seat, same time, same silence. She leaned back now, mirroring him. "You don't eat here because of the food." Henry didn't respond. "Why do you come here?" she asked. And for a moment, just a moment, he almost told her. Instead, he said, "I like control." Eva smiled again, soft, knowing. "And I took that from you for 10 seconds. That was it, that was the shift." Because instead of shutting her down, Henry did something worse. He smiled, just slightly, first time in years. And Eva noticed. "Wow," she whispered. "I didn't think you could do that." He exhaled slowly, almost amused. "Neither did I." That was the beginning. After that night, he kept coming back, not every day, but enough. Conversations got longer, less guarded, more real. She told him about her life, not everything, just enough. He told her almost nothing, but what he did say. It mattered. Weeks passed, and something dangerous started forming. Not love, not yet. Habit. Henry started looking forward to something again. And that alone was a problem. Because men like Henry Jones don't fall fast, they fall deep. Then one night, everything changed again. The restaurant was quieter, almost empty. Rain tapping softly against the glass. Eva sat with him longer than usual, no rush, no distractions. "You're different tonight," she said. Henry didn't deny it, he stared at his drink for a moment. Then finally, after 6 years, he said it. She left. Eva didn't interrupt, didn't react dramatically, just listened. "No reason," he added. "No explanation." Silence, rain, breath. And since then, he continued quietly. "I don't let things get close." Eva nodded slowly. "That makes sense." He looked up at her. "Does it?" She held his gaze. "Yes." Pause. "But you're here." That line hit harder than anything before, because she wasn't wrong. Henry leaned back, eyes on her. "You're dangerous." Eva smiled faintly. "No." She shook her head. "You're just finally paying attention." And that's when it happened. He reached for his phone. Paused for half a second, like his mind was fighting his instincts. Then placed it on the table. "Put your number in." Eva didn't move immediately. "Careful," she said softly. "That's not a small step for someone like you." Henry's jaw tightened slightly. "I don't take small steps." She studied him, then slowly picked up the phone. Typed, saved, placed it back down. "Now what?" she asked. Henry looked at the screen, then at her. Then said the one thing he hadn't said to anyone in years. "We see where this goes." And for the first time, he meant it. But what Henry didn't know, what he couldn't see yet, was that Eva wasn't just stepping into his life, she was about to change it completely. And not in the way he expected. Because a week later, something about Eva would make him question everything again. A week later, Henry Jones realized something was wrong. Eva wasn't answering. No texts, no calls, no "I'm working." Nothing. And for a man who built his entire life on control, this was chaos. He went to the restaurant, same table, same time. But this time, he didn't wait. "Where's Eva?" he asked. The manager hesitated, just for a second, but Henry caught it. "She doesn't work here anymore." The words didn't land immediately. "What do you mean?" Henry's voice dropped. "She quit," the manager said quickly. "Last week." "Last week, right after." Henry's jaw tightened. "Why?" "I don't know, sir." But the way he avoided eye contact said enough. And just like that, Henry felt it again. That same feeling from 6 years ago. Someone leaving without explanation. But this time, he wasn't going to sit in silence. No, this time, he moved. Within 24 hours, he had everything. Henry Jones didn't guess, he found out. Address, background, history. And what he discovered didn't make sense, because Eva wasn't just a waitress. She had a degree, top of her class, business management. Worked briefly at a mid-level firm, then disappeared into restaurant jobs. No record of failure, no scandal, no reason. Just gone. That didn't sit right with him. So he did something he hadn't done for anyone in years. He went to her. Her apartment was small, simple, quiet. He knocked once, no answer, twice, still nothing. He was about to leave, when the door opened. Eva stood there. No makeup, no performance, no confidence mask. Just real. "You shouldn't be here," she said. Henry didn't move. "You disappeared." She looked away. That wasn't the plan. That line hit. "Then what was?" he asked. And for the first time, Eva hesitated. You don't want this, she said quietly. Henry stepped closer. I decide that. She shook her head. No, you don't understand. Then explain it. Her eyes met his, and this time, there was something different. Fear. I knew who you were before you ever sat at that table, she said. Henry froze. I knew exactly who Henry Jones was. Silence dropped between them. So what? He said slowly. So that night, she continued. The dance. She swallowed. It wasn't random. And just like that, everything shifted. Henry's expression hardened. You planned it. Eva closed her eyes briefly. I didn't plan everything. That's not an answer. She exhaled slowly. I needed your attention. That was it, the truth, raw, unfiltered. Henry laughed once, but there was no humor in it. So this was a game? No. Then what? Eva stepped back. It started as a risk. Pause. But it didn't stay that way. Henry didn't respond, because now, he didn't know what was real. You disappeared after getting what you wanted, he said. Eva shook her head quickly. No. That's the problem. What problem? She looked at him. Fully. I didn't expect to actually feel something. Silence. And that scared you? Henry asked. Yes. That honesty hit harder than anything else. Because it mirrored him, 6 years, same fear, same walls, different people, same damage. Henry took a step closer. You think I don't understand that? Eva didn't answer. I built my entire life avoiding exactly that, he continued. She looked at him now, really looked. Then why are you here? And that was the question. The one that mattered. Henry didn't hesitate. Because I couldn't forget you. No performance, no control, just truth. Eva's breath caught slightly. That's not enough, she whispered. Henry stepped closer again, now there was no distance. Then let me make it enough. Then, for the first time. Eva smiled, not playful, not confident, but soft, real. And that was the moment everything changed. 3 months later, Eva walked into a glass office building in California. Not as a waitress, but as a strategist. Henry didn't save her. He didn't upgrade her, he recognized her. And gave her the space to step into what she already was. No shortcuts were allowed in his world. She earned her place, and everyone knew it. 6 months later, they got engaged, not loudly, not publicly. Just a quiet decision between two people who had both spent years protecting themselves. And finally stopped. At the engagement dinner, someone joked. Careful, Henry, don't let her dance again. The room laughed, Henry didn't. He looked at Eva, took her hand, and said calmly, some risks are worth everything. Silence. Because everyone in that room knew he meant it. And this time, he didn't lose control. He chose it. That's the difference. Because the right person doesn't break your control. They make you want to let go of it. If you made it this far, hit that subscribe button. And tell me, would you have taken that risk? Or walked away like she did?